All right, what's up, everybody? We have Mr. Bill, part of our program for a long, long time. How you doing? Introduce yourself. Where are you from? What's your name? What do you like to do on the weekends? Tell everybody.
How's everybody doing? My name is Bill Pearson. I'm from Massachusetts, mainly grew up in Springfield, work in Agawam, but live in Worcester, so all over the state. Um, I work full time. I actually go to school full time. I have two kids, a wife, hang out with the kids all the time, play basketball, go to their events, stuff like that. And then me, my wife, and kids, we love traveling, whether it's traveling for just 2 days or traveling for a week to 2 weeks. Whenever we get the time, we love going all over the place.
Yeah, Bill's a great guy to meet in person. He's even better than on the computer. He's a fun guy to get drinks with, him and his wife. So if you ever see him on the streets, buy him a drink. It'll be a fun time. Uh, but cool. Sports cards. So walk me through the beginnings. When did you join the program? Did you know anything about sports cards? Have you ever tried it? Were you completely new to it? Practical? Did you think it was the greatest thing ever? Tell me the beginnings.
Well, I mean, obviously, just like every other guy that loves sports, I started collecting sports cards when I was a kid with my father and my older brother. Um, just because I was the youngest and I didn't really know much, I kind of got all the junk wax that we see today, and I actually still have many boxes of those from when I was a kid. Nothing worth anything though. But then
Yeah, how it
I
goes.
got injured. I got injured at work during COVID, and I was sitting around and had nothing to do. So I pulled out those boxes and I started going through all my stuff that I had and some of the stuff I collected over the years here and there. And then I was like, you know what? I'll buy some boxes or rip some boxes, and started, buying Brady cards because I'm a huge Tom Brady fan. And then my wife's like, "You're kind of getting a little crazy. Why don't you sell some of these?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll get around to it." Never really got around to it. And then one day
Yeah.
we had another conversation about selling them. So I started listing them, raw cards up on eBay. And I'm like, there's got to be an easier way to sell these things. Because it was just difficult taking one picture front and back, on a stand. It
Yeah.
was, it was selling things for like $1 a piece. Like it was ridiculous. And then so I started searching up the internet, trying to find ways to sell sports cards a little bit easier, a little bit more, efficiently. And that's how I came across you and MLP. So I inquired into it. I spoke with one of your reps. I'm pretty sure his name was John at the time. This was back in January of 2021, or maybe
Mhm.
late December, early January of 2021. And I fell in love with the idea. I mean, definitely skeptical about, the initial investment, as I'm sure everybody who has joined the program um, has been. But I kind of jumped in with both feet, watched all the videos, made all the mistakes that you told me not to make, but still had to learn the hard way because that's just who I am.
Yeah. I mean, going back to the skeptical thing, I mean, random kid there, 26 years old on the internet. What could go wrong, right?
Well, yeah,
Plus,
especially when you hear all kinds of stuff on the internet, internet
yeah,
scams.
yeah. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. If I saw myself on the internet, I might even think I'm a scam off. So, but thankfully I'm not. I'm not. Or at least I don't. But cool. So skeptical. Got into sports cards, buying Tom Brady stuff. Sorry about the Patriots right now. As a Jets fan, it makes me happy to see them 2-9
I'm
or two and
sure.
ten now. I think. Yeah, thank God they're finally bad.
You're only a
Yesterday.
true fan, though. You're only a true fan if you're with them through, thick and thin, the tough times and the good times. And we're just, back in the '80s, we had some shitty times, but now we had some good times for a long time, but now we're back in those rough times again. So it is what it
Yeah,
is.
well, as a Jets fan, it's always been rough time. So I guess I'm the most loyal person ever. Um, but all right, so skeptical made all the mistakes. Why don't you say what a few of those mistakes were, then kind of go into the successes, what to do to be successful. Talk maybe some cards you flipped specifically, give some specifics, some money you've made. Walk me through that.
Okay. So like some of the, obviously, like when I was first joining the program, skeptical about the initial investment, but the one thing I had about it is like I like to gamble, and I'd buy scratch tickets from time to time.
Yep.
And the thing about
Yep.
buying scratch tickets is you win or lose no matter what. So it's either you win, you never win big, obviously, with scratch tickets, but you win or lose no matter what. and I kind of like related that to sports cards in the early beginning of it, because my thought process was, at the very least, based on what you explained in the program of buying a raw card and then, inspecting it and sending it off to get graded. And if it doesn't grade, you still have a product, whether it's, it may not be a 10, it may not be perfect, but it's still something that you can sell to make some money back. So it's never a total loss. So that's kind of how I related it in the early stages. But I watched all the videos, and even some of the things that you told us not to do, like prime example, ripping packs. Ripping packs is a can be related to a scratch ticket just as much as anything. You hardly ever win. Yeah, you can still sell these raw cards for $1, $2 a piece, but it's not what you're looking to do. You're looking to buy, a higher end card, even if it's only a $50 card, grading it for $19 and then selling it for $150, like once it grades out. So I didn't really do that in the beginning. And I was still buying packs, and, from time to time, I still do it. Like, it's just because it's fun. Like, it's, even though I know it doesn't pay, I still do it because it's fun. But I bought a lot of shit in the beginning. I was told to talk to my coach, send things to my coach, Joe DiMatteo. He's a great guy. He was awesome. He told me, don't do this, do that. And I still did it, and I still made the mistakes, and it cost me in the beginning. But over a period of time, I self-reflected, and I realized that I was the one making mistakes. I wasn't listening to what I was being told to do. I wasn't, essentially following the program that I paid for. And that's why I wasn't really making money. And then I started making some changes, and some things started developing, and I started making good money. A prime example, I think I talked to you last year sometime, and you said, hey, we want to get rid of all the football cards before August. And some things happened. I started selling them in July, which was actually worked out to end of July, which actually worked out really well. Me and my wife were traveling. I bought a Kenny Pickett autograph card for $475. I graded it for $75, so I'm into it for $525. I actually sent it off to...
If you're enjoying the content of the video and you want to learn how to make a side income with sports cards, I spent the past 3 months putting together a training to show you exactly how it's done in detail. Sports cards has allowed me to live a life beyond my wildest imagination, and I'm thankful for the hobby every single day. That is the reason I teach sports cards, and I am so passionate about it. At the end of the training, we offer a paid program where you can work closer with me. However, I don't want you joining until you've watched the free training I put together. It will show you exactly what's inside the program and how to make money with sports cards, and from there, you can make an educated decision. So if you'd like to sign up for the free training, either scan the QR code on the screen or text Eric to 631-544-7005 or click the link in the description. Just to repeat it, you can either scan the QR code or text Eric to 631-544-7005 or click the link in the description. Now let's get back to the video.
Matt Sellers to inspect it and grade it for me. I'm into the thing for $525. It grades a 10. I end up selling the thing for $1,300. I was nice. Like, that's exactly what you preach in the program every single time. Another one, basketball season, I did the same thing. I was buying early during the off season. I was getting them graded and ensured they came back before the preseason games even started. So I bought a Jabari Smith Jr. Orange at 25. I paid $385 for that thing. I graded it for 40. So I was into it for what, $425?
25.
Yeah, I sold it for like $830. Completely Beautiful. Doubled my money Beautiful. All the way around. And then I still do like a lot of the lower end stuff for that market that's out there, where I'll grade a $10 card for $19. I'm into it for $29, and I sell it for $75. I do that all the time. So you can go from lower end stuff, $10, $15, $25, whatever. You can go $500 cards. You can go $1,000 cards. It just all depends on what your budget is, and it works out. I try to mix it up as much as I can, so that way I'm not committed to one field. You know what I mean? But the program works. If you follow it, If you watch the videos, you listen to the videos, you utilize the coach the way you're supposed to, the program works.
Sweet. What sales numbers? Like, I'm curious, like your sales numbers in 2020 and 2020 sales numbers from when you started, roughly. Probably don't have the exact number, but roughly.
Uh, Year to year
Sure,
or
year to year.
total. So last year I think I had about 25,000 in sales. This year I have probably 35,000. But my inventory is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I
Well, I'm curious, what would you say? Let's say you sold right now.
If I sold everything that
Yeah.
I have since I started the program, I'd probably be well over $120,000. I have
Got a lot of cards then over there.
I probably have about at least $60,000 in cards of graded Tom Brady 10s that I graded utilizing the program for my personal collection. It's just
Okay.
You preach sell, make that money. But when I initially got into this, I got into it as a hobby. I wasn't doing it as to make money, but
Yeah.
It's very lucrative. I do very well. Very satisfied with how much money I make, and the program has literally paid for my hobby. I've never taken a dollar from my family and or the house. Well, it helps out a lot, and I have a lot of fun doing it.
Beautiful, beautiful. And what would you say, out of curiosity, since doing this in the past 2 years, you may have already mentioned it, but what card have you made the most amount of money on? One single card.
One single card.
Was it the ticket?
I feel like I had one that was more than that I sold for like $1,800. I think it was.
Wasn't a teal Purdy, was it?
No, it was not.
Well, that wasn't.
It was I want to say it was Carlos Colmenares orange out of 25.
Okay, what'd you buy that one for?
If I remember correctly, I bought it for like three or $400. Yeah, it was like $300 or $400. I had no clue who the guy was. I looked it up and I was like, wow, this is no. I had no clue who the guy was, and that's why I ended up paying $300-400. I looked it up, I looked at all the comps, and that's what he was going for. I ended up sending in to get graded at the I believe it was the $75 level at the time. And just because of the way the season was, I wanted to get it in quicker to sell it. And then when it came back from PSA, they actually upcharged me to $165 because at the time that I was grading it, if it would popped a PSA 10, it would have been I would have sold it for about $800. Then when it came back from PSA, it was valued at $1,200 a PSA 10. So that's why they upcharged me to $165. And then when Matt Sellers consigned it, he sold it for $1,800. And that was probably my biggest profit. What's that, almost 4 times more than what I paid for the card?
Very nice. Yeah.
That's include the grading.
That's excellent. That's awesome.
That's
great.
But timing was everything. Sometimes you got to pay a little bit more to get graded to make the money a little bit sooner.
Yep, 100%. Yep, timing is a big thing. And I'll leave it off with this. If you had to, we're gonna post this on YouTube. You got to give one piece of advice to someone getting into sports cards, can't program. Forget that. But just one piece of advice. What would you say?
Be persistent, but be repetitive and listen to your coaches. If you do, if like you guys say all the time, if you stay consistent every single week, you're looking at, if you spend just even 20-30 minutes a day, you buy one card a day, you send 4 to 5 cards off a week, you inspect those cards with your coach says they're good to go, you send them off, you're going to make money every single time. It's a no-brainer. So you just got to be consistent, be persistent, and listen to your coach and watch every single one of those videos. Just don't do it once, watch them over and over again, because you don't remember any of the information just by watching it one time. You got to watch them time and time again, just and just stay with it. Cool.
Well, I appreciate it, Bill. Thank you so much for your time. This will be posted everywhere we could. So if you start getting messages, just know it's probably from this video asking, how'd you do that? How'd you just make so much money with cards? But I appreciate it, Bill. And yeah, thank you.
No problem.